gentlemen, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and it's good to be back. It's been a rough couple weeks for me. Let's just say it was a perfect storm of multiple things bad happening in succession that required my immediate attention. And just haven't had the chance to record a video. But now we're back with a new update about Palworld. And no, unfortunately, it's not about the legal battle and their sudden victory, but it is a victory nonetheless, if you think about it. Got this article from PC Gamer. Not bad for a dead game. Palworld managed to get 4 nominations in Steam's Best of 2025 awards, including second place for most played game. That's huge. For those of you that really don't understand the Steam marketplace or the PC world, if you're still living in console only gaming, Steam is pretty much the best metric for how successful PC games are. And considering that Palworld came out basically at the beginning of 2025, some people would argue that, oh, it's got longevity, so it's going to be the most played. But with the way Steam releases work, new games tend to outshine and overshadow games that came prior to them in the Steam library. And I've seen games come out as late as November on Steam before and hit the top 3 of the most played games. So for Palworld to like maintain that spot is very impressive. But let's dive into the article. Third bestseller in the year of our Lord 2025. I did not expect to read that. Is it really the third bestseller too? Because that's even more impressive. When you purchase through links on our site, that's I don't care about that. The end of the year doesn't just bring some much needed time off, awkward family gatherings, and a wave of New Year's resolutions that'll only be kept for a day or so. It's also the time for celebrating some of the best games of the last year, namely through the fan voted Steam Awards. While Hollow Knight Silksong managed to take the win for best game of the year, and yes, I didn't play Palworld. I played Silksong. Silksong is fantastic, like mechanically, uh, ambience in the world, the soundtrack, the stylization, how it kind of maintained the air and demeanor of Hollow Knight, but brought some new flavor of its own. Silksong's amazing. If you haven't played it, play it. If you haven't played the first Hollow Knight, go play the first Hollow Knight too. Both amazing games. Where was I? Middle of a sentence. Sorry about that. There was plenty of love to go around, such as Palworld managed to get 4 nominations, taking home 4 medals: silver for most played and most played Steam Deck, and a bronze for top seller and controller game. A pretty impressive feat for a 2-year-old game that's still in early access. Are we calling it 2 years old because we're in 2026 now? And yes, I guess actually, yeah. Would it be? No. Did it come out in 2024? I don't think so. Hang on. Hang on. Something doesn't seem right. Oh, it was 20. Oh man, I am so behind the times. Holy shit. I apologize. I thought Power World came out last year, but last year was the entire year-long battle of the thing. I fucked that up big time. That's even more impressive that a 2024 game managed to take 2025's number 2 most played game of all time, for all time of the year. And I bet all of that had to do with Nintendo's lawsuit. There were people who probably had no intentions of playing Palworld that jumped onto Palworld because of Nintendo's lawsuit and the evil mega corporation bullshit that Nintendo's pulling lately. They've pissed off a lot of their diehard fans and their legacy fans, and that's something you can't do. Well, I take that back. Nintendo can because they market to children, and as long as there are more children and new children, they will always have an audience. But man, I can't believe it's 2 years old. That's blowing my mind. It felt like it just came out, like, not that long ago. Let's see. Thank you so much, everyone. Power World's official X account said, "We are working hard on the official release of Power World 1.0 this year. The post ends with an enticing news soon, so fans of the game can likely expect something big in the coming weeks." I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Palworld's full release has been planned to come out in 2026 for some time now, ahead of the holiday period. Pocket Pair even announced it was taking a small step back from community involvement just so it could fully focus on ironing out Palworld's bugs ahead of the launch. Alongside the bug cleanup, Pocket Pair is also preparing to add a ton of new content not dissimilar to seasonal updates that have been released so far, like the 2024 Pretty Huge Winter Update, which added a whole new island, new resources, and mechanics. And I think that update is why I was mistaking that the game was only a year old. Because I remember reading about that update and the big things and how it was like effectively a lot of people were saying it's like a new game with all the updates that they put in. And I probably just got caught up in the fervor and, I made a mistake because I have a human brain and I'm not a damn computer. All the plans of celebrations are sullied slightly, though, as Palworld is still in an ongoing copyright lawsuit with Nintendo as one of the most venerable video game companies seeks to was one of the most venerable video game companies. Correction there. Seeks to trip Palworld on its mechanics that it views as imitating Pokemon's. Yeah, but Pokemon imitates Dragon Quest. So, what's your argument there, Pokemon? Also, it's just a battle of the minds now or the wills or it's all ego and reputation at this point because the amount of money Nintendo has lost far exceeds the amount of money they're asking for in restitution. It's ridiculous that they're still pushing this. Pocket Pair even had to patch out a single mechanic last year. Chose to patch out. Who wrote this shit? Like, what are we doing here? Ellie Gold or maybe Eli Gold if you have a unique spelling of your name, but I'm gonna assume it's Ellie. Uh, where was I? Uh, yeah, chose to patch out a single mechanic last year, releasing a patch with just one change. The mechanics for gliding with a power world have been changed. Until now, you could use certain powers as a glider. However, from this patch, you will only able to be glide using a glider. Glider powers will now provide a new passive partner skill effect while gliding, but the player must have a glider equipped to actually glide. It's certainly a tough time for Palworld, but thankfully, it doesn't seem to be getting to the devs too much, as many are still focusing on the positive. 2 years later, and we're still humbled by our community's endless support and kindness. Palworld's communication director, Bucky, says, "Thank you so, so, so much, Palworld Games. Not bad for a dead game." Okay, so I'm going to go, it is Ellie, because this looks like an Ellie to me. But get your facts straight, Ellie. They chose to. They weren't compelled or forced to. It was just, I believe the wording was a wise move given the legal, I want to get this right, the legal delicacy of the case, I think is what their lawyer suggested when it came to that. But yeah, there you go. I don't really have much. If I keep going, I'm going to start ranting about this person's writing, and I don't want to do that. I want to talk about the success of a 2-year-old game landing on the second most played game. What it said, the third most played controller game, right? Bronze for top seller and controller. So it hit number 3 in sales for 2025 as a year-old game and number 3 as a controller game, which a lot of people, well, I assume everyone knows what that means, but for those of you that might not, a lot of games have controller support where you can plug in a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox Pro controller into your console. And if you're not using an Xbox Elite 2 controller, you're a fool because you can adjust the tension on the thumbsticks, which changes the whole thing and the depths of the triggers. So like controller, like thumbstick tension and controller trigger depth are, oh, they're game changers for FPSs. But yeah, that's what they mean by controller game. It's not mandatory for a controller, it's optional. Uh I hope everyone knows that. And if you don't, now you do. But yeah, that's impressive to hit 4 awards as a year-old game. And as the developers calling it a dead game is a joke, obviously, because they're still working with the game, they're still releasing updates, they're still doing patches and bug fixes. So it is far from a dead game. It is active and live, and very successful. Like Power World is the level of success they've achieved is the number one hindrance for Nintendo right now because the backing of Palworld, if it continues to grow, is going to make Nintendo look more and more like the bad guy, which they are. as they progress with their lawsuit. Hopefully, this litigation can end and not be some sort of endless appeals nightmare, but you never know. And I just want to see, I just want to see Nintendo's nonsense reverse engineering patent crap shot out of court so no other companies can pull this ass hattery in the future. But yeah, Power World, keeping it strong, staying strong, 2 years long. 2 years. Jesus. 2025 was a mess, wasn't it? But that's all I have for this video and this article. This is your host, Belmont. Glad to be back and out for today.